Good evening and welcome back to 31 Horror Nights. It's October 30th and tonight's movie is The Survivalist. This is a 2015 post-apocalyptic thriller from the UK. They didn't specify what type of apocalypse it was in the trailer, but we did see the eponymous survivalist who has this hairstyle I don't care for. It looks like if you mixed a mohawk, a mullet, and a rat tail. The main source of conflict in this story are these two women going to his cabin. I think it's like a mother and daughter pair, and now all three of them have to survive together or something. I found this movie by looking up movies that Mia Goth did. She's one of those Scream Queen actors. Her career has really taken off in the past few years, but this was very early on in her career, only her second feature role. She was also apparently in the Suspiria remake, which I watched for Horror Nights, but I don't remember anything about her character from that movie. However, this time she's got a leading role, so I'll know what to look for. I'm gonna go give this movie a watch. This is the worst movie I've seen all month. It was boring and gross and pointless, and I hated it. This review shouldn't take long. There's no point in splitting this into different parts because basically nothing happened in this movie. Just as a nice inkling of how this movie is paced, I think it was 17 minutes before we heard one single word. I am mad at myself for even selecting this movie to watch, but I really am mad at whoever on Wikipedia labeled this as a thriller. There are no thrills in this movie. The closest they get to horror is these awful gross out moments, like seeing an infected wound filled with maggots. Or one scene where it's not explicit, but what's going on is so vile I don't even want to relay it here. But even those rare moments of quote-unquote excitement are few and far between. The rest of it just feels like padding. It's hard for me to talk about this movie because it's hard to say anything about a boring movie. A movie that was annoying or didn't make any sense, something like The Mist, or The Killing of a Sacred Deer, something like that. I could at least talk about it. There's nothing to say. It's just three unlikable characters in a cabin doing basically nothing. And despite the fact that when all is said and done, I would prefer a movie that's just really boring as opposed to a movie that's like offensively stupid or annoying, at least I can get some modicum of commentary or content from them. A movie like The Survivalist serves me none. You know what you should do instead of watching this movie? Check out the anime Goblin Slayer. I know there doesn't sound like there would be much connection, but they have similar main characters, they have similar vibes. The main difference is in Goblin Slayer things actually happen. Compare that to The Survivalist, which basically has like 3 scenes in it. Softcore porn, the mother and daughter debating on whether or not they should kill the survivalist, and people coming to raid the camp. I summed up like 90% of the movie with those 3 sentences. And I was thinking of maybe trying to stretch this out to a 4-minute length of video, but it's not worth my time. Don't watch this movie. It sucks. I hated it. And movies like this make me really glad that I, save one movie to watch for Halloween in advance. Because imagine if this had been the movie to end Horror Nights this year. Thankfully, it wasn't. I'll see you tomorrow on Halloween night for the final night of Horror Nights 2023.